Let's talk about group exercise, shall we?
I am more than an instructor.
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 You can try and hold me back, but I'm moving to a whole other level. Don't worry where we're at.
First of all, welcome everybody to Reach. Thank you so much for coming. I want to say a special thank you as well to SH1FT Fitness, who I know there's quite a few people booked from SH1FT Fitness, and EMDUK have been massively supportive of this event. Just in case anybody doesn't know, they've recently relaunched like a sort of a really amazing, like a kind of a membership thing with lots of amazing free resources. So I would definitely encourage anybody to check that out, and I'll probably put that into the recording email. You have to bear with me because normally I use Zooms for workouts and not stuff like this, but thank goodness Rachel's here with me to guide me through. So what this is all about, this is actually part of our More Than campaign. And the More Than campaign is something I've wanted to do for so many years. It's designed to raise awareness of the hard work that instructors put into their profession. I just don't think people really understand the time, the money, all the investments that go into this amazing profession, and the benefits that it brings to so many people. So we have created if I just very quickly do this, a micro site that we would love you to check out. We've got a 3-minute instructor survey. We would really be excited if you guys could just fill that in. It's completely anonymous. We want to understand more about what goes into this. The whole point of it is to get more people into group exercise, either online or offline. So we would love you to do that. And yeah, we just encourage you to check out the site. We've got some really good videos. It's taken me months to edit these videos with 20 different instructors sharing their stories. We've got some really cool images like about what goes on the backstage, going live, audience of the weights. We've got some funny videos, some heartwarming videos. We'd love you to share your stories. And we've got some like hopefully quite funny images here that we could all relate to. When you've got to go to work first thing in the morning and you can't let your hair down on a night out, when you've got to smile, when you're not actually feeling that great, and some instructor personas. So yeah, we'd love you to check it out. 10 superhero powers of instructors. So that's why this all came about. And we're going to be doing a few workshops. So Ellie Linton, who runs the online Facebook fitness group, will be hosting a fireside chat. We'd love you to come to just thrash out ideas. That's August the 22nd. And then I'll be doing one about AI. And we'll also be introducing a guy called Luke Gupta to talk about sleep. And so we'd love you to invite that. All free. There's no like upsells or anything like that. It's all part of this campaign we're doing. So yeah, I will pass you over to Rachel. My last thing to say is we'd love to take a group picture at the end. I will warn you. So if you don't want your camera off, you don't want to be on, I will warn you. I've just had a chat with Rachel, and if you have questions coming through, Rachel could see the questions on chat because she's a co-host. So if you've got anything that you want to ask, like that's relevant to what she just said, just fire those questions across. You don't have to wait for the Q&A at the end. And I guess you all know Rachel Holmes, but obviously Rachel Holmes is a health and fitness entrepreneur, group exercise class creator. She makes me feel so lazy because every time I'm on Facebook, I see Rachel's either doing a workout or 6 in the morning or whatever. So I'm really delighted she is here with us today. And with that, I shall pass you over to Rachel.
Oh, fabulous, gang. Lovely to see you all. Just pop in the comments. And firstly, let me know where you are in the UK, and let me know if you are operating your own business, i.e. you're self-employed, you've got a limited company, and you are either hiring space locally, or you have your own studio maybe, but generally you're the generator of the business. Let me know. I'd love to know in the comments so I know exactly who I'm speaking to. And then I can give you the best information I possibly have around how you can build your audience and build your client base. I thought you was in Essex, I wasn't sure. Self-employed. I feel like I know your home. I've seen it so many times on all there. I know the different lives that you've done. Adele's in Bracknell. Hi, Rosemary. Oh gosh, everyone's moving fast. I'm Sam Dorset, self-employed, West Sussex, new to the fitness industry. Welcome, Claire. You are in for an amazing ride in the fitness industry. It's fantastic. Do keep putting them in, guys, so I know exactly where you're on, what you're up to. Hello, Anita. No problem. Let me know, how do you need new clients? Do you need more clients in your business? Let me know. Yes. Give me the comments. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Keep them coming because I really feed off your energy while I'm doing these. Yeah. Thanks, gangs. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Okay. We're going to talk about positioning first of all and understanding who you are and what you offer, because there could be in your area, there could be 10 people that are doing a clubber size class. There could be 10 people that are doing a body conditioning class. So how do you differentiate what you're doing? What makes you different? And of course, you're the differentiator, your personality. So creating a brand around you, you're the personal brand, you're showing up on social media, you're doing the things, is key. People buy into you. I always say this, you know, I'm sure you've all got lots of qualifications and you've been in the industry for a long time, you've got great experience, but ultimately people are coming to you. They're coming to you, Rosemary, because they love that you give them a chat beforehand, that you know their names, that you know what their dog's called, you know about their children. People, it's a people business. We're in the people business. And when you are perhaps putting content out for social media, or you're thinking of selling your services, people are actually buying from you. You're the personal brand. So understanding who you are, having that self-awareness of why people come, who you are, what do you bring to the table is really key. And then when you can identify those traits about yourself, you can put that out on social, and that's what people are really buying into. And it makes it so much easier. You don't have to be selling all the time, because people are just seeing you and showing up on social, being authentic. And we hear that word all the time, authenticity. But what does it mean? And it's just being you, more of you. And as we're in the fitness industry right now in 2023, it's a brilliant time to be in the fitness industry, because we are seeing so much more diversification in the industry than we did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when it was very much quite a stereotypical type of image of a fitness professional. Now it's fantastic. We see instructors of all ages, all shapes, all sizes, from all backgrounds, and that's to be celebrated. And that's about you being you. So this talk today is really to give you the confidence to, one, put yourself out there and be completely authentic, because that is your superpower. Do you all agree? Put in the chat, what are the things that people say about you when they come to your class? What kind of things do they say? Oh, I really like your class, Claire, because you're always there at the end. You take time, you care, you give an explanation about the exercises, you make me feel comfortable, you are relatable, you're down to earth. How many times do you hear that? You're down to earth, you'll feel like you're one of us. You know, you're a role model for sure, all of you are. But it's those little nuances that they're the reason why people keep coming. Fun, friendly, remember the names. It's so true. And hone in on those skills, because when we're talking about social media, which I will do in a second, you know, it's remembering those traits, remembering those things about you that people say, and then putting that out on social. Make things fun. Everyone's saying that. Making fitness fun is a real key component to keeping people coming back, isn't it? Making people feel welcome, absolutely, and included. We always got to remember our audience. Most people aren't obsessed with fitness like we are. We're a very small, minute group of people. You know, most people don't live and breathe fitness like we do. So it's very intimidating, people who are not fit and are not going to an exercise class regularly. They're kind of watching on the sidelines thinking, you know what people are thinking, would I fit in? Will I be the oldest? Will I be the biggest? Will I be able to do it? Where will I stand? Where will I park? You know, these are all things that our potential clients are thinking about when they're seeing you on social, or when they're picking up your leaflets in the local beautician, or when they're seeing you on the street. They're thinking, yeah, I'd love to get fit, but is that environment going to be friendly for me? Is it going to be welcoming? Am I going to be fitting in? So those kind of putting yourself into your consumer or your potential consumer's shoes is really helpful. Again, if you're creating content for social media, answer those questions. You know, what happens when you turn up to Elle's blah, blah, blah class. Where will I park? Where are the toilets? What do I need to wear? For us, we're thinking, well, everybody knows that, and they really don't. And that's how to break it down. Think you're the person that you want to attract into your class. Think of all the barriers. Why aren't they coming? Do they have a medical issue? Do they, are they nervous? Have they had a bad experience with fitness before? Have they had an injury or an illness? And if you can create content for social that answers those questions, pull down those barriers, you are going to find that you're going to be getting an influx of clients all the time. So I'm just going to park social media over there for a minute. But my first thought for all of you is just take a pen and paper and write it down. Think of the things that people say about you, and then think of all the questions that a potential person might ask or want to know about your class or your personal training session or your services, and keep breaking it down, break it down. Just write all those points, because for someone to buy into a class or a service, we need to understand what are their problems. Now, in marketing term, we would say, and I don't think this is a particularly nice term, their pain points, but it's what are their issues? Why isn't Mrs. So-and-so going regularly to an exercise class? What's stopping her? So if you can think of all the reasons why somebody might not be going, then write them down and keep referring back to the list. I think in the fitness industry, it's easy to think we need to keep reinventing the wheel with how we market our services, and we really don't. Just keep breaking it down. Why aren't people coming? What are their problems? What are their issues? And then you can create content marketing that answers those questions. And whether it's in the written form, whether it's in a video form, whether it's in a graphic form, in all three, and using that as social media content is going to be the key to bringing new people into your world. Park that for a second also. I've worked with Fit Pros, with their businesses for 30 odd years. And what we tend to see is, and do let me know if this is the same for you, you may have a core group of clients who are regular. They love you. They've been coming. They love what you do. They're your regulars. They're really supportive. And you may have that core group. However, they've found you and they're happy. But what happens in fitness, and you'll know this, is people naturally fall off the other end. So that means they may move away. They may go to another gym. They may try something else. They might join hot yoga. They might take up the running club, or they just stop for a million other reasons, that's nothing to do with you or your class. So what happens to a fitness business is, if you aren't bringing people in on the other end constantly, what happens? Your pool of people gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then we start to get a little bit panicky. We can see the numbers are going down. We're not really sure how we're attracting. We don't really have a method or a system to be bringing new people into our world. So the business gets smaller and smaller. And that becomes really difficult then, because you're not really sure how to market, what to do. It's about creating a really simple system. So you are using social media, if you want to get people into an online or a community class, to attract. So we're using social as like a funnel, the top of the funnel. So you're putting out content that's interesting to your target audience. So if you generally are wanting ladies of a certain age, or people who are beginners, or people that have got medical problem, or maybe active seniors or older adult, or whatever your niche is, it's creating content that's speaking to that audience. So it might be tips, exercises, updates, information, around your target audience. So that becomes the top of your funnel. You're putting out information that's going to attract people who are interested in those topics that you're talking about on social. So then how do they come into the business? So if it's an online business, an online class, do you have something that's really low barrier to entry? So it might be that you have some pre-recorded classes that you've already done that live on your website, or somebody could message you for, and you could send them on. So they could ultimately try before they buy. Once they've tried and they've enjoyed that class, you would follow up. And again, I'll chart this system for you. You would follow up, and then potentially they would come and maybe sign up for a course or join your membership or sign up for a block booking. But there needs to be a few steps where you nurture that person. Now, again, in sales and marketing terms, this would be, and I always think this is so impersonal, but like a lead. You're using social media to generate leads, people that are interesting. They then come into your world on something that's either free or low cost. So a very low cost class or a free session, first of all, so they can try before they buy. Hopefully then your charisma, your personality, your amazing skill set will be enough to get that person then to continue on with you on their journey. And this is what we call an ascension model. It's a staircase. People are coming in this end, social media. They're coming in, they're trying something free, they're jumping into something that is maybe low cost, they're enjoying it, they're then moving on to the main part of your business, whether that's a membership or whether that's a block booking. Does that, maybe I'm speaking to maybe you've heard that before, but it's a really simple model to understand. We need to nurture clients so that they feel they're ready. When they're ready to jump in and make a longer term commitment, they've already tasted and sampled what you offer. And then we can hold them in that main membership, or they sign up for the block booking. And then at the end of that, you've got an option to either upsell something. So you may offer a workshop or a retreat or a social event or something that might not even be related to fitness. You might be pairing up with another professional and running a health and fitness day or a mind body day. There's something on the other end that potentially we would call that you could upsell. Or they may then jump into something that you have that's more exclusive, that's maybe a higher cost, a high ticket. So can you see you've got this ascension model? Now, when you're starting out, and when you're just in the industry, it's like, okay, hire a room, let's just go, let's just blast it all on social media and bring everybody in. And that's a great way to start. That's a fantastic way to get going and work out who you are and what kind of clients you want to work with and what you want to teach. But as you move through that, I try to encourage all instructors to then think a little bit more business-like and create a system. So then when you have a system, you have free, you've got your leads over here, people coming into your low cost, then moving on to your main session, and then potentially they could upsell into something else, or they just stay in your main membership or your main classes. When things fail, or you're not getting new people in, or people aren't converting, you can actually see where in the chain things are breaking down, and then you can change it. You could change up your social media content. You could change up your free offer. You could maybe tweak your price point. So there's ways that then you can manipulate that process. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if that's kind of that, you can get that all right in your mind and understand it. And then it's much easier to manage that process. You can change the process, tweak the process. And when you understand that model, you'll see that everywhere. Yeah, thank you, gang. You'll see that model applied in all different sectors, in all different businesses. And it's no reason that we shouldn't be doing that within fitness. Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Oh, that's so true. You might know and say, yeah, Rachel, I get you. But it's putting it all into practice. Now, again, I'll say from my own experience, I've been doing this for such a long time. I see so many phenomenal instructors who are so talented. They build amazing communities, and they're doing so well. But because they don't get the processes in place, it's very difficult to have a holiday, take a time off, earn more money, build a business, build a business that is going to return you a good investment. Just as Jonathan said at the beginning, this is not a cheap industry to be in. There's a serious cost to being a Fit Pro. Your insurance, your music, your licensing, your ongoing software, Zoom memberships, travel. There's a lot of cost before you even open the door. So if I can help you just understand a very simple process within your business that can really help you, then it will save you so much time, energy, and emotion, and tears in the long run. It really is. It really does. So let's take each one of those little sort of aspects to business. So if we look at your social media, and I know for many people it's like, oh no. And there's even another social media platform popped up last 2 weeks ago. I bet I was on it. I bet you're thinking, oh no, I just can't even keep up with the social media I've got. Don't even talk to me about another one. It's like, geez. Now you don't need to be on every platform. And this is why it's key to know who your market is. So if your market is generally local folk, it's a community business, or you're potentially getting 40 plus, where are those people likely to be hanging out on social? Which platform? They're likely to be on Facebook. So if you're thinking, Rachel, I haven't got time to do all these platforms. One, identify your audience. Okay, they're local. They live local to me. And they're generally women over 40. They're going to be on Facebook. So if you've got limited time and resources, spend your time on Facebook. You don't need to be doing TikTok and everything else. It will just overwhelm it until you maybe get your processes in place. Yeah, absolutely. Now you might say, well, I've got a slightly younger audience. My audience are maybe mid-20s to 40s. They're on Facebook, but they're probably on Instagram as well. So you might be spending more of your time on Instagram. If you're looking to market to a younger audience, then yeah, go for TikTok, do TikTok. And that's where your audience are going to be. Once you've got your systems in place and you know what you're doing, you can be more omnipresent. You can do more platforms, or you can create what I call origin content. So you might record a video. You might do a written post, you might do a graphic, you might make a reel, a short form video. And that one video, you may repurpose to all those different platforms. So you may post it on Facebook, you might post it on Instagram, you might put it on TikTok, you might put it on LinkedIn. That's one method of doing it. But I would suggest that you first identify your core audience, work out which platform they're on, and then concentrate on that platform. Build an audience over there first of all. When you've got that down, you can start to move around and be more omnipresent. As Jonathan said, you know, I do all the platforms, but I've got a team. I've got a full-time PA and I've got 2 VAs who also help me with content. There is no way I could show up with all that content on my own. I would never go to sleep. And I also harness a lot of scheduling tools and tools that can repurpose content. So if you're looking at anybody on social media and thinking, God, they're everywhere, it's really unlikely that they're doing it alone. They'll have a small team behind them. They might have a virtual assistant. They might have people helping them, because it's virtually impossible to do that on your own. So again, don't be sidetracked by seeing other fitness professionals and thinking, wow, they're everywhere, because they probably have a team. So if you haven't got a team, just double down on what one platform or 2 platforms. Do you all agree? You don't get FOMO thinking, oh, I need to be on Threads now because everybody's on Threads. Yeah. What and how much volume? What was paid? Yeah, organic or paid. I wouldn't pay for anything, Jonathan, until you have got a structure of content going through. So you, again, with how much time you have, what your mental capacity is for, and something that's not going to burn you out. So if I said to you, okay, we're going to run a marathon, right? We're going to do a marathon, and the marathon is going to be in December. We don't just start training tomorrow and do a marathon. We don't just run 24 miles tomorrow, 26 miles. You know, I'm not a runner. Tomorrow, you build up to it. Because if you do too much training too quickly, you get burnt out, you get injured. Just the same with social media. You've got to think, well, what is sustainable for me right now within my business? Could I post once a day for the next 30 days? Yep, do that. Let's focus on that. Could you do a live video 5 days a week for the next 30 days? Not sure about that, Rachel. What I could maybe do a live once a week. Great. Let's do that, and do that for the foreseeable future. You might think, okay, I might do a reel. I'm going to attempt to do a reel a day. A reel is a 1 minute or less video, short form video. I'm going to do that for the next 30 days. So it's important that whatever content strategy you decide, it needs to be sustainable. What definitely doesn't work on social media is all guns blazing now for the next week. I motivate you, start doing reels, you're doing posts, you're using ChatGPT, you're everywhere. Come Friday, you're like, your head's blown. It's unsustainable. So it's about creating a sustainable model for you. And also utilize utilize the method of communication that suits you. I like video. I like going live. I like doing short form video. I find that quite simple. I find writing a lot harder. So I would rather do video. You might prefer to do written posts, and I'll give you a hack for written posts in a minute. You might like sitting on Canva while you're watching TV at night. Who does that? Creating Canva and doing nice graphics. That might be your thing. You might love talking. Do podcasts. Do the thing that you can manage for the foreseeable future. If you're someone that doesn't want to go on video, doesn't like being on video, that's always going to be hard for you then. It's going to be overwhelming. You've either got to go for it and get over that fear, or you've got to say, okay, I'd rather write, and I would rather do graphics. Great. Focus on that. Adrian, any tips for cross-platform engagement? Yes, there might be audience that consume more organic on TikTok, but follow through on Facebook. 100% for long form to get more informed. How can you track these demographics and make sure your remarketing is successful? Yeah, 100%. I'll just go through sort of my how to market and put things together in a simple way with what you're offering, and then I'll tackle that question. Put in the comments as well, do you all have a website? So a website is like your digital shop, clearly. And it really, I think anyone that has a fitness business needs a website. And I see lots of marketing gurus going, oh, you don't need a website. I personally think you really do. It's your digital shop. Also, the problem with social media platforms is they change all the time. So if you're creating content, maybe just an idea for you is to create content for your website, for your blog, that is your origin content that you can then utilize, you can edit, you can chop up for social media afterwards. Ultimately, you want to use social to bring people to your website. Once they're on your website, they're signing up for your newsletter, they're getting your free guide, they're getting your free PDF, they're getting a free workout, they become your customer. On Facebook, they're Facebook's customers, they're Instagram's customers. And it's a high probability that you could get hacked, you could get your account disabled, you could get the algorithm changes, you could get shadow banned. It's really risky. If you're in this for the long haul, create a strong digital home of your own that you want to bring people onto, because the platforms are changing. And we are up to this, we're at this real tipping point with social media at the moment with legislation and, you know, anything could happen with social media. We are just not in control. AI is coming really quickly. You know, Facebook are going to make massive changes in the next few weeks, even with their launching all their AI tools. Now, this could be a game changer, but it could change the way we market overnight, and you're not in control. So again, bring people to your website, get their email addresses, and then communicate with them off social. All of you will also have a nucleus of people that don't use social media, that aren't on social and not going to come to social. So again, if you've got them on your email list, brilliant, you can still communicate really quickly. Not very technical. Wow, well done, Rosemary. It's really key. I definitely recommend Wix. You know what? When I started my website, Choreography to Go, 22 years ago, everything had to be custom made. That's why I was asking you, Jonathan, earlier. Everything was custom made, and it was so expensive. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. Now you can get a Wix for 200 quid. You can add your plugins. You can add a membership area. You can plug in a free MailChimp. And before you know it, you've got a functioning storefront that you can sell your classes and your courses and your programs and your membership on. And I know what you're all saying. I'm not technical. That's why we do fitness. I'm not technical. But you can outsource somebody, could make your website, could make all the functionality for probably less than 500 quid. Now I know it's another cost, but it's a cost that you can offset against your business, and it's going to set you apart. People can find you there on social. Oh, got there. Yeah, Sam says a lot of her people aren't. Yeah. So it's if you're not there yet, put it in there. I'd like, you know, aspire to get a website. You either want a Wix or a WordPress or a Squarespace, something that's generic that everything just plugs into really easily. You know, understand then how you can add products, how you can put a payment gateway system to it. You can add Stripe to it, which is a universal way of taking payment, or PayPal. You can have a membership area. So every time you do a Zoom or you do a Facebook Live, you save that recording, you upload it to YouTube or Vimeo, it then can live on your membership area. So you're creating a business that doesn't just revolve around you doing all the work, trading your time for money. When you do a digital class, you save that class, you then upload it to your membership area, and it can be resold over and over and over again. That's truly passive income. You turn something that's active into passive. So every time I do an online Zoom or an online talk or a workshop, that workshop is saved, it's edited, it goes to the membership area, and it lives on an inventory on my website. So anybody new that comes into the world can then, oh, I like the sound of that, brilliant, click, purchase. And I've already done the work. It's truly passive. Fitness is a wonderful business to be in. I've been in it all my life. I've never done anything else, but it takes a lot of energy from you. So if you guys that were new if only we'd all set this up in the beginning, brilliant. You then create a business that you can take a holiday from, that you can have a rest from, that you can, when you're injured, when you need to take August off, you can do. Because you've got this library, you've got this content library that can be resold over and over again. And it's not difficult. It's really not difficult. It's just understanding the initial marketing ascension model that I spoke about a few minutes ago. And then it just becomes a machine then that you can keep turning on and turning on. So it's a lot to take in, I understand. And it's about starting small. So if you are new, think about getting a website and you can start to develop that. Understand how you can change it, how you can edit it, how you can add to it. Social media, decide which platform that you want to spend your time on. Which one do you enjoy? Which one is going to be, it's going to be your target audience. If you have extra time, you can be omnipresent and you can create content at scale for other platforms, but ultimately start small and make sure it's sustainable. So Facebook, of course, it's the granddaddy of all social media. And if you think of Facebook, it's not just Facebook. You've got Facebook personal profile, Facebook business profile, you've got live, you've got reels, you've got Facebook events, you've got marketplace, you've got all these verticals underneath Facebook. Facebook is enough, it really is. But it's there's so many places that you can post on Facebook. So it's having a good brand image, which goes back to who you are. What do you do? What you offer? What are your core products? Who are you marketing to? Who is your target audience for your classes? And it's always keep coming back to that. What is the problem that I'm solving for my clients? What are they struggling with? Now, Facebook, Instagram, again, it's a very cool platform, very visual, but we are seeing on Instagram at the moment that written posts, blog type posts are indexing really well. So if I was doing this talk with you maybe 6 months ago, I would have been saying reels, short form video. That's what you need to be doing. And definitely short form video is indexing well, doing really well, especially Facebook reels. The reach on Facebook Reels is phenomenal. You could have 1 million views in 2 hours, whereas on Instagram, there's a lot more competition over there. Facebook Reels is so new, you can get your message in front of so many people in such a quick time. But again, it's being consistent with your Reels. Facebook Reels is amazing for getting new eyeballs on your material. So if you're saying to me, well, Rachel, I'm not getting any new people, Reels is a way to get new people, because Facebook is going to take your reel and it's going to push it out into the newsfeed in front of people that potentially may be interested in your content. So Reels are amazing. Instagram, you can still get good traction on Instagram for sure, but written posts are indexing really well on both. Long form written content. So if you like to write, definitely put some blog type posts on both platforms, because they're working really well. Now, YouTube, I think, is an interesting one for all of you. If you've got a local business and you want to get people in the local area to your classes or your studio, then YouTube is phenomenal to do that, because YouTube is owned by Google. So if you teach Pilates classes and you are in Loughton, however I say it, Loughton, and someone puts in Pilates classes in Loughton, That's what somebody's probably going to be searching for. And if you have YouTube videos, and they could be shorts, which are the 1 minute version of a YouTube video, and you have Elle's Pilates class in Loughton 1, Elle's Pilates class in Loughton 2, Elle's Pilates class in 3, and you've made a ton of little videos that are titled for search. When somebody puts in Pilates classes in Loughton, guess whose content's going to pop up? Your YouTube videos are going to pop up. Your blog posts are going to pop up on your website, because that's what people are searching for. And there's anybody that's growing a big audience is using Google to search. What are people searching for? People are searching for menopause help in Manchester, or yoga classes in wherever. And if you can create content that is titled for search, you're going to pop up. So already you've got customers. People are already looking for running club in Lewisham. You run a running club in Lewisham, bang, your content is going to pop up. So always think of the keywords. If you, again, going back into your customer's shoes, what are people searching for? And then just head over to Google, type it in, see who pops up, see what's coming up, and you'll see that social media posts and YouTube posts pop up now. So if you've got YouTube videos that are titled Pilates classes in Gloucester, and again, make it more niche, smaller, your content is going to be popping up. So that's a key one. YouTube is a social media platform, but it's also it's the biggest search engine, and it's part of Google. So if you can create content for that, I think if I was starting again today, right now, and I had local classes, I would probably only focus on YouTube. I would do YouTube, and I would do YouTube videos, and I would title everything for search, and I would do a lot of time. And the thing with YouTube as well is, if you post on Instagram today, that Instagram feed just drops. YouTube, it stays there forever, and it will keep coming back up in search. So your post that you make today for YouTube is probably going to get a lot more life for months, years into the future. So just a little tip on that one with YouTube. So it is a social media platform, but it isn't. It's a library. Is Reels available for everyone to see? How can it be discovered in the noisy world of fitness content? Is it better to be more niche and specific? Because Reels is so new on Facebook, it's wide open. You could post tying your shoelace and it could go viral. You could post, a great tip and it could go viral. It's kind of a bit wild westy out there. So the idea is to just post lots of different things and see what comes back. But remember, you need a call to action, which I'm going to come back to in a second. Elle said, if you don't have a site, you can contribute content to other sites, as there will be minimal, no SEO benefit from writing long form on. Yeah, there is actually from writing long form on. Facebook will still index. Instagram and Facebook will index in search as well, as long as you've got the right keywords and the right title. I'll give you a tip. If you go to Google and you target in your niche, so it could be Pilates, let's say, just say, for example, you put in Pilates. If you scroll down a little bit further, Google will say something like, I forgot what it says, what's the heading? People are all asking these questions. And a bit further down, it'll have the ads, and then it will say something like asking these questions. And it gives you it will tell you exactly what the questions are that people are inputting into Google around Pilates. And you can keep clicking on them, and it expands another 10, and another 10, and another 10, and another 10. If you just take those headings and you use that heading on a blog post or an Instagram post or a Facebook post, and then your information, they're going to index. So if you take that article, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it on your blog post, they're going to index. So it's definitely worth doing. But use Google to get exactly what people are searching and typing into. Yes, of course I can. Yes. YouTube is next on my list. I've got lots of content from long down. Yeah, 100%. So Reels, Rosemary, it's a short form video, which is 1 minute or less on Facebook currently. On Instagram, it's 90 seconds. On TikTok, I think it's up to 5 minutes on TikTok now. On YouTube, it's a minute. Where else have we got? Where else is it? That's it. So it's short form video, just 1 minute or less, and they're called Reels, and on YouTube they're called Shorts. Yeah. Okay. Website we've talked a little bit about, because I know we're on for time. We've talked a little bit about who you are and identify who your audience are. Who do you want to get in front of you? Who are they? Where do they hang out? What are they shopping? What do they like? What else are they buying? What they're interested in? You know, any business that's selling a product will have a personal profile, an avatar of who the ideal audience will be. You'll always get people that are outside of that audience, but it's whenever you're making content, whether you're writing a blog post, whether you are doing a video, you're speaking to that person, you're imagining them in your mind, you know what they're struggling with. And we've not done that so well in the fitness industry. Again, personal opinion, I think there's a huge market for people that have got, as you said, Jonathan, earlier, long-term medical conditions, are complete beginners. Now, an hour in a studio with mirrors would be hell on earth for the majority of people in the country, you know, but they might want to do a 15-minute workout, a 20-minute workout. You know, I launched a program called Walk Fit, and everyone on Walk Fit is just marching on the spot. It's the busiest class I run online. Hundreds of people join me every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning to walk on the spot. You know, it's building up daily habits. Just because the fitness industry have always said you do it for an hour and it has to be this, think outside that box. 85% of the population are not exercising. So if you can tap into the reasons why people aren't exercising and create something around that, you're going to be successful. You really are. No problem. You are so welcome. So it's positioning as well. Another opportunity in fitness at the moment is corporate wellness, corporate well-being, working with local corporates, working with businesses globally. So many fitness professionals now are seeing that there are budgets for this, and that would mean positioning yourself on LinkedIn. Don't be scared of LinkedIn. LinkedIn's just like Facebook. It's no different. It's just positioning yourself a little bit more. So if that's an avenue that you want to go down to, go and spend some time on LinkedIn. You know, look at profiles on LinkedIn. What kind of businesses would you like to work for? What could you offer? Could you reach out to human resources? You might not be, it is down to positioning and how you are, what kind of content that you're putting out there. Yeah, the walk-in's fun. So yeah, does that help a little bit? Yeah. I'm going to give you a few tips on how to create content really quickly. So are you all teaching classes today? Have you got classes on? Well, that gives you a head start before you even know it. So things like when you're going into your room, take your phone and film the room that you're in tonight. If you're setting up your Zoom, film yourself setting up your Zoom. Show people the music that you're going to be using. Document your journey into the hall if you're hiring some space. You know, you think no one's interested in this. People are definitely interested in this. If you've got an additional phone, put it on the side when everyone's coming in, signing in. Put it on the the super speedy one, the time lapse, so you can see everybody coming in, signing up. These are wonderful pieces of content that are really interesting and relevant. You don't have to do anything specific. Just document what you're doing. Little clips, you know, little exercise clips. Tips around what the type of class that you're doing. It doesn't need to be anything difficult. People, as I say, are buying from you. If you're doing a class online today, maybe film a little bit beforehand, a little bit after. If you've got the video, you can clip and edit little pieces that can become reels. So it's as if that person who's interested is just looking behind the door and thinking, oh, that's what it's all about. That's what you do in there. You know, you're just lifting the curtain back on what you're doing. And your potential consumer needs to see you, not 7 times. I heard this on a podcast yesterday, 7 times. They need to see you like 77 times. People need to see you over and over and over again. I have people all the time that come to me and say, oh, I'm going to do your business. I'm going to join your business club. I've been watching you for 5 years. You have to show up consistently. which comes back to my earlier point of saying, if you're going to do social media, do it consistently, because people are registering. If you're all guns blazing over social for 2 weeks, then you disappear. It's kind of, people notice that, even if it's not top of mind. If you are there showing up every Monday at 6 on social, or they're seeing you post regularly, they might not be engaging, they might not be answering, and you're thinking, oh, nobody's looking at what I'm doing. They are. People are seeing you. They're noticing what you do. They're seeing you show up over and over again. And in their mind, that builds trust, that builds consistency. And even if it's subconscious, that's what you're building with social. And again, people say this to me all the time, nobody's commenting, nobody's engaging. They might not be, but they're still seeing you. And it is consistently, it's showing up over and over and over again, which I know is like hard. Why aren't people engaging? They are, they're seeing it. You just got to keep doing it for the long haul. Social media is not a quick fix. It's not something that you can build in a week. This is something that you do for 6 months, a year, 5 years. I still do a live every single day on Facebook, 5 days a week, 7:15, the fitness show. I've done it since live started on Facebook, which is whenever that was, 2016. I still do it. People still come to me in business and say, oh, I've been watching you for weeks. I've been watching you for months. I've been watching you for years, before they then become a client or a customer. So it is that consistency. I know we're running out of time, so I'll just come and give you 5 little buckets of social media content you might want to consider. So number 1, if you're selling workouts, people need to see you doing it. They need to see a little snippet, an example of you teaching the class. They want to see how you speak. They want to see your eyes. They want to see your personality. They want to see you. So whether that's an actual clip of you teaching, or you doing piece to camera, or even doing a speedy time-lapse video, they need to see you in action. They need to see what it's like. So that would be one bucket of content. The other bucket that separates you from other fitness professionals is your expertise. You know so much about fitness, adherence, motivation. Think of all the knowledge that you have in your head. You could film a tip a day on how to get started, a tip a day on choosing the right bra to wear in an exercise class. You could do 10 tips on choosing the right trainers. You could do the 10 tips on how to improve your squat. I mean, it could just go on. This is endless that you could do, just little 30-second clips of you saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. And now you're thinking, oh, Rachel, I don't really want to do that. It's the fastest way to get people to know, like, and trust you. They need to know you're an expert, and you are an expert. So show that. Just a simple 1 video, 1 tip. And I think it's easier to do it in a theme. So you might do a theme of mobility tips. You might do a theme of flexibility exercises. For Pilates, you might do myths about Pilates, or you might just showcase an exercise, a Pilates exercise with some technical tips. Anything that is pertinent to your niche, create some expertise content around that. Again, so people are coming back to your page thinking, oh, Jane's going to share with us whatever. And if it's an episodic content, if it's maybe a series, this week you're going to do mobility tips, next week you're going to do flexibility tips. And I go round and round and round and round on my social with all those types of tips. Everybody's stiff. Everybody wants to be more flexible. Everybody wants to get moving. Everybody wants to improve their fill in the blank. And you've got the keys to that. So create little micro videos of content that just adds value, that just showcases your expertise. And that's a bucket of content. Another massive one that we could do a whole session on this is testimonials. Every time you post in your group, hi guys, how did you enjoy the workout? People are going, oh, loved it, loved it, loved it. Screenshot those, make them into a Canva template, post them on your stories. It's social proof. It's so powerful. It's unbelievable. And people don't understand how powerful just a comment on Facebook, when people see that, other people see it and think, wow, they went to that class. They're getting great results. I look like that person. I could go there too. They're so strong. If you're in a community class, go back old school, get a big book from TK Maxx, like an art book, and ask people at the end of the class, like you used to go to hotels and they used to say, fill in the guest book, get people to write. Did you enjoy the class? Oh, just write down. Great. Take a snapshot, put it on social media. Very strong and powerful. So simple, so effective. People buy from people, as we said. So if other people are reading the results, they're seeing, yeah, I feel great. Really strong. So that needs to be a whole bucket of content. Number 4, which I think Fit Pros struggle with, is sell. You've got classes, you need folks in them. Talk about it, sell it. Don't dress it up. Tell people, guys, I've got club size tonight. I've got 3 spaces left. Who's going to take it? Who's going to jump into those classes right now? You've got to sell. You've got to put it out there and let people know how they book, where they book, how much it is. And you need to do it regularly. You need to do offers regularly. Otherwise, people just think, oh, great content, like all that. But there needs to be a sales element to it as well. And, and regularly. I would say probably 70% content, 30% sales is a nice balance. And then lastly, and this depends where you are on this, but people need to see that you're a person, that you're 3D. You know what it's like. If you see people in the supermarket, everybody's looking at you, everybody's looking in your trolley. If you've got normal clothes on, everybody goes, oh, you've got normal clothes on. Nobody can quite believe that you are a normal human being. So a bit of personal on your socials it really helps people get to know you and think that you are a real person, a 3D person, with hobbies and interests and kids and dogs and animals and all the things. So don't be afraid to share that. And of course, I know there's boundaries. You don't want to share everything, but just that little bit of personality, it will do wonders. Great for engagement and just building that we are a personal brand and that's who we are. All right, guys, I'm coming to the end. Let me know in the comments if you've got any Q&A. My parting shot would be show up consistently, build your pipeline of your leads, come and get something free into a membership, and then potentially you would upsell something else that you may be offering. You might not have that upper offer yet, but maybe think about it. Whether it's a community class, whether it's an online membership, there is a step-by-step process, and then you can measure it. You can turn up the social media if you need more leads. You can change up the free offer that you offer. You can, again, maybe change your main membership if you need to tweak that. And then you can look at your upper offer as well. So people usually like to see 3, if you go to a restaurant, you may think, okay, we're going to have a bottle of wine tonight. There'll be a cheaper option, there'll be a middle option, and there'll be a high priced option. And that's almost with your services. If you're doing a group program that's a lower cost, you may have a one-to-one option that's a higher cost, and then you may have a creme de la creme one-to-one option. They're exclusive, they get extra sessions, they get meal plans, they get something else. There's a higher offer here. So you position yourself with 3 different price points. When you only position yourself with one low offer of something that's, classes for a £5, then that's the perception. That's what people think. Oh, Rachel's classes are always just a £5. So if you offer anything that's higher, it's a bit of a shock. But when you present, this is your menu, your one-to-one, your one-to-many, your sort of middle in the road, and then your high end. Again, people see that. Amazing. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Any ideas for the 60 plus age group? 60 plus are all on Facebook, Rosemary. And this is how people who are 60 plus read Facebook. Hang on, let me get my phone. 1 minute. I don't know where my phone is. Okay, so this is anybody younger goes through Facebook like this, or goes through just hardly looking at it. Anybody older is reading everything. They're on Spotted, they're on the neighborhood news, they're on everything. They're looking and reading carefully. This is the local mag now for many 60 plus. So don't think 60 plus aren't on Facebook, because they exactly are. They really are. Thank you. How often do you recycle content? Is that something that you can help stay consistent with always being posting online? Yeah, we recycle everything all the time. We tend to recycle reels about every 4 weeks. So older reels, we repost them. So we've had quite a lot of reels go viral. They've got over 1 million views, and we repost them again and they go viral again because there's always new people coming in. Think of how many people are online. 2% of your audience see your content. You'll see all the big marketeers, the same posts come round and round again. So yeah, definitely. Any other questions?
Shall I just jump in there, Rachel?
That was helpful. It's such a big topic, but I hope this has just given you a few little ideas of what you can do. Don't be overwhelmed, and just start small and build out. Be clear about who you are, what your offer is, who the target audience is, and then build from there. All right.
You can try, hold me